a cue from Tariq's panel discussion today. He showed a lot of pictures. So why don't I start today by showing you a picture?
The green button.
Yeah.
The big green button. The big green button.
Okay, by show of hands, does anyone know this picture? Great, nobody. I'll give you a clue. The haze in the picture is not really special effects. It is a view from a window in Burgundy, France. Still nobody? All right, I'll break the suspense. This is the first photo taken ever. It was taken in the year 1827 by a French inventor, and it took him 8 hours to take this photo. Let me show you another photo. Once again, by show of hands, does anyone know this photo? Okay, this one was taken 180 years ago by an American photographer named Robert Cornelius. To take this photo, he removed the lens cap, ran into the frame, and stood there for 10 minutes. The idea was to simply capture the image of a human. Little did Robert know that he was pioneering a technique that will be perfected by generations today, known as selfie. These are the selfies of today, and were probably taken in a matter of few seconds, but still, the amount of data they can capture is amazing. They can tell us when was the photo taken, where was it taken, which device was used to take the photo, and is the picture original or edited? And with the intelligence that exists today, it can easily find out the faces in the photo, the expression on those faces. It can read characters such as the car registration, the name of the roads, and it can also detect the clothing, the garments, and the labels on it. There is a saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and it's literally so true today with the amount of data captured in one digital image. And not just digital image, the kind of technology that is available today and the data captured with it has revolutionized every part of an average human life. Mankind has seen 3 industrial revolutions. Right? Right? No, wrong. There's been a 4th one. 4th industrial revolution, 4IR, has snuck in and spread its wings in every sphere of an average human life without us even realizing that it has started. The first industrial revolution gave us steam engine. Second one gave us electricity. The third industrial revolution gave us computers and the internet. And with these computers and the internet, we generated and captured lots and lots of data, but without actually utilizing it to its full potential. 4IR is going to change that. It is going to use that data to make human life easier. Prior to 4IR, an image, even with that data, was still a memory in our lives. But with 4IR, it can scan millions of images on the internet and in databases to find a missing person. It can be used for crime control. 4IR is already here. It is represented by artificial intelligence, mainly by the use of robots, Internet of Things, autonomous vehicles, 3D printing, and nanotechnology. 4IR is bringing with it the technologies that blur the lines between what's real and what's artificial. Unlike all the previous other revolutions, 4IR is very, very different. It is not about how we do things. It's about how we think. It's about the quality of our life and everything around it. It supersedes any digital progress made in the last 60 years, and it's creating realities which we previously thought unthinkable. Let's talk about basic human necessity, shelter. That is housing. Usually it takes a few months to years to build a house, an apartment, or an office building. With 3D printing technology, construction is a matter of few days. Here is the office of the future at Sheikh Zayed Road. 250 square meter, its exteriors are entirely constructed with 3D printing in 17 days at 50% of the cost of a building of similar size. And not just this, even the parts of the Museum of the Future will also be constructed with the help of 3D printing. With artificial intelligence and 3D printing combined, the possibilities are unlimited. You want to buy a house, you provide your specification, computer does the design, and 3D printing does the rest in a matter of few days. It will automatically take care of specifications like fire safety, strength of material, soundproofing, and many more. In Dubai, we are certainly optimistic about this innovation. In fact, the plan from Dubai Future Foundation is to have 25% of all buildings to be constructed with 3D printing technology from the year 2025 onwards. And that's not all. 3D printing has already made its entry in many of the sectors: manufacturing, model art and design, even in healthcare. Today, in US, hearing aids are manufactured almost exclusively with the use of 3D printing. In fact, the hearing aid manufacturing companies, which did not adopt this technology in time, very fast went out of business. From shelter, let's talk about another basic human necessity: clothing. And with clothing comes the retail industry. Let's see how 4IR is changing the retail industry. The last decade in retail has e-commerce written all over it. And the retailers which survived this wave are the ones which adopted technology consistently and transformed their business models. And we can see the growth of the e-commerce, how it is still growing. And as consumers, we like to shop for electronics, for books, for fashion online. But despite this growth, it is projected that in the year 2021, 83% of all retail sales will still happen inside the physical brick-and-mortar store. 83%. Now, what that means is for the retailers that simply by investing in e-commerce engine is not going to be enough innovation. They need to do much more to survive, to capture, to grow, or maintain market share. Even in store as well, we were talking about instant gratification earlier. Just by simply giving discounts, by shop assistance, that is not enough. Customers are looking for much more. They're looking for faster and convenient transactions. They're looking for greater personalized experiences and offers. They're looking for greater value, better assortment. In this era, technologies like facial recognition will not just help the retailers identify their customers instantly and personalize the offers, but will also help them get the live feed on customer experience without having to run any NPS survey. You may know, Roads and Transport Authority in Dubai no longer require its customers to rate their service from 1 to 5. Their newly installed cameras can instantly detect expression on the customer faces, and they know how happy or frustrated their customers are. Another innovation in retail is augmented reality. Currently, a shopper goes to a store, select maximum of 5 garments, wait in the line for a trial room to be available, and then try them on one by one before deciding what to buy or not to buy anything. Our research shows 19% of the shoppers walk away because the line for the fitting room is too long. Another 1/3 of the customers don't even want to try the fitting rooms because they find the experience extremely uncomfortable and stressful. But that's not the end of issue. It actually leads to another issue: returns. As per the same research, retailers lose $650 billion in revenue annually because of returns. With 4IR, it has brought with it smart mirrors. A smart mirror can show a shopper how a garment will look on them without having to try on anything. This is definitely the next generation in augmented reality with man-machine interface. And I tell you what, if you've ever played Pokemon Go, you've already engaged in augmented reality. Another important area in retail has always been discovery. that is search. And in the era of e-commerce, it produced requirement for new skills. Jobs like search engine optimization analyst did not even exist prior to Y2K. And it is now a core requirement of any retailer with web presence. With 4IR, the search for a garment or even food is also getting a makeover. We already have visual and voice search capabilities. With visual search capability, a customer no longer needs to think about the right keywords to type in a Google screen or talk through a shop assist and explain them what they're looking for. All we have to do is point our phone's camera at an item and instantly get similar or exact matches. Pedro was showing that with an SAP as well for the cars. Now, this is brilliant because it not just saves the customers in terms of shortening their path from search to conversion, but for retailers as well. We don't have to consume thousands of hours in tagging millions of images with the right keywords so that it appears in the customer search. Also, not just the searches, but also to maintain the internal metadata of these items. Voice-driven searches or voice-driven shopping is another area in conversational commerce, and it is also on the rise because of uptake of the devices like Alexa, Google Home, and Siri. How many of us in the room have one of these devices? You must have Siri. Everybody uses iPhone in the Middle East. So quite a large number, yeah? Now, voice-driven shopping provides convenience, speed, ability to multitask. And a lot of consumers have already started shopping for things like grocery or food items through voice-driven shopping. Now, even though these items are very low in ticket size, but it is estimated that by the year 2022, voice-driven shopping is going to be a $40 billion industry. While we're on the topic of conversational commerce, we have to talk about chatbots. Now, chatbots of today, we were speaking about Charlie earlier, chatbots of today have a long way to go. But I personally like what a chatbot has to offer. A chatbot can answer a simple, mundane question extremely well with 100% consistency all the time. And in doing so, it eliminates multiple interpretation of your company's policy by different customer service agents. As a customer, it doesn't really matter if you speak to chatbot A or chatbot B, if you're calling at 10 a.m. or if you're calling at 11 p.m. If the customer service center is based locally or offshore, a chatbot will give same response to same query all the time. And in doing so, it will also capture valuable customer contact data. And that can be used to continually improve the accuracy of the responses. This is great because as an organization, this will create a consistent, a very good brand image of your company. Most of the chatbots of today, they work on simple decision tree logic, and they work very well when used in conjunction with other systems, such as apps, websites, or human-based customer support. With 4IR, chatbots will start to use natural language processing capabilities, NLP, and will not refine themselves to a list of keywords. With 24/7 availability and consistency and standardization in response, chatbots are taking another industry by storm. Healthcare. We already have many apps developed which provide symptoms-based diagnosis to the patients, and they instantly provide feedback on their general health conditions. And it learned from multiple interactions from the patients and continually improved the accuracy of the diagnosis. Last year, an AI-based software named Babylon, not sure how many of you have heard of it, it took the general practitioner exam in UK, and it scored 82% against the average of 72% by all real-life doctors in the last 5 years. And not just diagnosis. A lot of chatbots today, they can mimic human conversation by asking the leading questions and allowing patients to open up through their emotions. And if a chatbot can operate at a level of a general practitioner, it can eliminate 60% of doctor visits, and hence, obviously, largely reducing the average medical bill of any family. Another way to look at it is it will double the outreach of the basic healthcare services to people. Now, what all that means is that humanity is no longer just a beneficiary of technology. It is inseparable from technology. This growing intersection of data, technology, and the physical worlds and the biological worlds are extremely powerful. And Pedro mentioned, he quoted Uncle Ben, what comes with great power? Great responsibility. To deliver on our great responsibility, we must have an appropriate emotional response to what's coming. We must have an adequate cybersecurity response to what's already here. And we must have a clear plan to embrace what's disrupting every single sector. As per a recent report, cybersecurity crimes are going to cost organization $6 trillion in damages by the year 2021. $6 trillion. This is the biggest transfer of economic wealth in the history of mankind. It is higher than the overall industry of all major illegal drugs combined. So before we can reap the benefits of 4IR, we must have the adequate safeguards in place so that the consumers as well as the organizations, they become comfortable about using the technology. Another common worry about 4IR is it is the uprising of the machines, and robots are going to take away our jobs. 4IR will definitely automate jobs. There is no doubt about that. And here are some of the jobs which are likely to be automated. But this is not new. Technology has always been around. It's been there to help us as humans and not erase us. The onus is on us to innovate and develop solutions that are going to make human more effective, more efficient, and not obsolete. The problem is not with the 4IR. The problem is with all the previous industrial revolutions, especially the first one. The first industrial revolution led us to believe that our lives have no meaning as humans without work or jobs. 4IR, I think, is very, very different. It is going to liberate us from these routine jobs. And in doing so, we're going to create a new generation of workers which are highly skilled in more diverse areas. But the question is, how do we get ready for it? Good you asked. First and foremost, we must accept it. And then collaborate. Collaboration amongst the academia, private and the public sector, and the government. There were skills which were okay. Little help, please. Okay, there were skills which were previously desired, and in a matter of 5 years, they are not that important anymore. You'll see that on a slide very quickly. Schools will need to develop and work with private and public sector to develop on-demand, adaptable curriculums to prepare the children to have the skills to better interface with the technology in the future. And companies also, they need to do their part, not just by taking the savings from the automation or by hiring these competencies, but they also need to reinvest some of the savings in upskilling the workers. Governments will need to use advanced technologies to get real-time insight into the labor market and develop sound policies and program budgets. UAE is amongst the few countries which have rolled out exceptional plans and is ready for the fourth industrial revolution. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum has mentioned that UAE will not just focus on finding out practical solutions to improve people's life, but we will also share our efforts with the rest of the world. We have a choice to make on how to respond to these changes that are currently unfolding. We can freeze in panic, or we can prepare for what is inevitable. 4IR is here to stay, and we are all in it together, whether we like it or we don't. 4IR, the fourth industrial revolution, is not just a revolution, it is the evolution of the mankind. Now my question to you is, are you ready? Are you steady to go with it? Thank you.